Hello and welcome to the Songs That Made Us, the show that likes to say fuck Tom Morello. We are here to... It's Jake Hughes and Connor Reed again. We are here to be extremely ignorant and possibly start some more celebrity feuds, which aren't really going to go anywhere.
What are you on about? We'll be infamous, mate.
Well,
we'll be the talk of the town.
That's my aim. Yeah, I'm hoping. That's how I'm going to put it up on Twitter as well. I'm just going to have at Tom Morello. He needs to listen to this, especially the last 5 minutes.
Oh man, that'll be the only clip that ever circulates ever.
I hope so. It's the clip that I'm most proud of. It's only episode 1 though. To be fair, like we've not exactly got a large back catalogue yet. So today we are going to do it a little bit different. Last show out, we were self-indulgent talking about the albums we love.
Yep.
This time around, we've got a guest. You might have already heard him laugh in the background. He's a lovely, lovely man. Beautiful bastard. A guy that I think we've both been in bands with before.
We're definitely at least jammed out with, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Many a time. Solo artist, member of a band currently. Mr. Ben Baker.
Hey there, guys. How you doing?
Hello. What's up, man?
Hello.
You know, I don't think any of us have seen each other properly. Well, me and Connor saw each other December. Was the last time.
Yeah.
And we don't think we've seen you probably in years.
Years, man.
Definitely. Literally since the old Stover days.
Stover, yeah.
You forget we had a message for the mortician as well after that.
Yeah.
True that.
Some pretty heavy stuff that was.
So, you fucked
Ben,
up and abandoned us.
Ben, it's great to have you here, man. Now, I've got to say, and I was speaking to Jake earlier about this. I haven't kept in contact with you in a little while, I'm afraid. And I was surprised by your album pick, because when I knew you, you were obsessed with Oasis, and I was sure that you were gonna pick an Oasis album.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that I kind of grown out of, if you get me.
Yeah. I haven't.
But yeah, well, it's always still kind of a bit of a love of mine, if you get me. But
yeah,
kind of that was a kind of thing I was listening to when I grew up, and then I found kind of bands like Incubus that I'll be speaking about today and whatnot. But yeah, you can't knock it from Oasis, but I listened to them so much when I was younger. It was just, you know what it's like.
Yeah, of course. And then, so the album you've picked is Incubus Make Yourself.
Oh, yes.
And I'll come off the bat and I'll say, like, this may be a running sort of theme in this podcast, because I swear I do know music, but I've never listened to Incubus at all.
So, like, mate, you need to.
Yeah, well, so this is my first real exposure. Like, I knew Drive. I knew the song Drive. Yeah, and I think a lot of people do. I think it's maybe one of their biggest tracks.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was. That and Stella were sort of the two sort of top singles, I think, from the album. And also ended up on like Guitar Hero, Rocksmith, stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So those would be the two tracks that anybody knows off the album if they haven't heard of Incubus before or haven't really listened to Incubus before.
Yeah, man. It's quite nice, actually, because from how kind of commercial those tracks are, like the album takes a totally different flip side completely to it, you know, where, you know, you've got some real kind of grooves in there and stuff. You know, you've kind of got points where you've got like just like a crazy instrumental, you know, and they really pick on what, you know, who they are as musicians throughout the album. It's a real journey. It's brilliant.
That's cool, man. So tell us a little bit about why Incubus and why this album.
The reason why I chose this album is, you know, you get those albums through time where just every track on the album is just phenomenal. You know, like there's not a bad track on the album completely, you know, and those type of albums are really hard to come by, and especially with, you know, some of the things they talk about on the album. You know, you've got tracks like The Warmth, for instance, that are, you know, it's quite an emotional track, like deep down. you know, kind of
Yeah.
saying to you, you know, people aren't so bad, type of thing. You know, there's other people like us in the world, especially with what's going on at the moment as well. But I won't dip into too much of that at the moment.
That's all right. But we touched
Yeah.
upon that a little bit last week as well. But yeah,
That's
no,
what I was going to say. It's a similar theme of there's an element of hope within the album.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, especially when you're constantly surrounded by, especially at the moment, you know, we've got a pandemic going on, we've got, you know, Black Lives Matters movement, everything going on, all the protests. You sometimes need that little bit of light to keep you going or keep you sane at least. Elsewise,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my impressions on the album, like as I said, this is my first time listening to it in preparation for this. I loved it. Like I really loved it, and I've kept coming back to it. I think I've already listened to it all the way through over the last few days, like 3 or 4 times. And I was surprised by how much I would like it actually, because Incubus is one of those bands I've always heard of, but never really listened to. But I didn't get the impression. Obviously, it is talking about deep stuff, but I got the impression it's a very positive album all the way through it. Like obviously there are some tracks more positive than others, but you do get an uplifting feel. It's like a relatable feel, isn't it? It's like someone's talking to you about stuff that you believe, and it's like reaffirming that sort of stuff.
Yeah, man, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Like it doesn't matter how, you know, popular people can be or what they do with their lives musically and stuff, is there are other people out there like us, you know, and it's good to hear that, you know, coming from music you love, you know. It's good.
Well, I think it's also got the same thing that we've already had with the first 2 albums as well, a sort of developing theme where we've got energy all throughout the album.
Oh,
fucking high energy on this album.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the good thing of what they kept to is all those kind of unison style riffs. If you get me, where it's just, you know, it's got that kind of headbangy type thing, but you're also kind of caught in this groove, you know. It's very kind of some of the riffs on the album, they're quite relative to kind of Rage Against the Machine riffs, you know.
Yeah, I get you. It's got like a new metal feel, but with like this kind of just melody keep popping back in there. That's like really bright.
Man.
Which is nice. I said to Jake yesterday, I said it reminds me a lot of sort of early Biffy Clyro in a way. And which I dig. I love I love Biffy Clyro in general. But yeah, I get that vibe, and I think that's what made me like really connect. Like when I listened to the first 2 tracks, I have to admit that I was like, right, this is very new metal. This is very early 2000s. I know what I'm in for. And then the album, like you said, it shifts and changes as it goes through, and it's more than that. Like it's got more. It does different stuff, and it's a great listen. It's a really great listen.
Well, I think with the first 3 songs in particular, I was same as Connor, where I'm sort of sat going, that's all right. But it had like it reminded me more of sort of Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park initially. She got the turntables and that in the background, but also like a mixture of sort of earliest Lost Prophets as well, which is a band I don't like referencing often.
They can. Well, one member of that band can go and flip himself.
Yeah.
Swearing is encouraged on the show. Rather than we're not PG. But by the time you get to The Warmth, which is the 4th song, the riff start off, the sort of spaciness of it.
The whales. Is it whales? Is it whales or dolphins or?
It's whales. It's like a really kind of deep whale calls.
Yeah, and then the way that fades in with the guitar, where he makes those really kind of spacey noises, and then that sort of carries on throughout the rest of the album in a way, and it's so cool. Really cool.
It's almost like they spend the first 3 songs kind of gearing up for the rest of the album.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they sharpen their tones and their instruments, and then they drop it down into The Warmth, and you're just hooked to this completely different place.
Yeah.
You know? the musicianship like throughout the album for me is probably one of my favorites of all time. And
I love
to
the
be
drumming.
honest, yeah, oh dude, I was about to pick up on Jose Pasalas actually. Him and Dirk, probably one of the greatest rhythm sections I've ever heard. Completely, they're just so tight together, you know.
Yeah, and they just make all the right choices for the songs, and it's sick.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's like
Definitely.
mixed in with Mike Einziger as well as a guitarist. They've all got that perfect blend, but yeah, the sort of the rhythm section in the background, the bass playing by Dirk Lance is phenomenal. He's got a sort of funkyish groove on most stuff he does, but it all fits in with that heavy style. So you're not sat there going, well, why have we got Parliament Funkadelic here and then fucking Beto over here?
Yeah, man. It's literally a great wish-wash, isn't it? Because especially with Mike Eisinger, actually, like he's got that beautiful style of kind of rhythm and melody mixed together with his playing. You know, he's I done bit of a backlog on him ages ago, just kind of looking at what kind of gear he makes, or plays, sorry, and he actually has kind of signature guitars, like even for this album, kind of made for him. And they're all kind of like hollow bodied, sorry.
Yeah.
Which is cool because kind of the albums before that and this album, you know, you get such a crunchy tone. You know, it's just so wholesome. But it's kind of weird because after this album where Dirk left, they got a new guy, Alex, in. It's mad how one member can totally change, you know, a sound of the band initially. Yeah. You know, but yeah, they were still great after that. But yeah, definitely this album, you know, going on to it.
Well, see, I kind of missed out on this album initially because I grew up during the Crank TV era, so we'd always sat in front there, and you've always got your obvious ones like One by Metallica would come on, or it was Left Behind by Slipknot. So it's during that period. So Crow Left and the Murder was out around that time. So we had Megalomaniac by Incubus. And you've got that still that heavier style, but obviously with different bass. And then sort of a couple of years after, you've got Like Grenade. So you've got Love Hurts being played, or Animali, which are different, but you can see the evolution in the band as well. Whether or not that was from Dirk's sort of influence previously and then changing with a new bassist, but you can see them growing as a band. And on this one, bear in mind this is their third album as well, Make Yourself, so they've already got a couple behind them, never quite sort of pushed through, at least in the mainstream sense of it, until this album, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think I read basically before this album they were completely self-made. Like they got no exposure on radio or from labels. Like it was a lot of their own work, and even when they made this album they were still grafting hard and like sticking to their own brand. They wouldn't let anyone sort of push in, which is probably why they struggled to find the exposure that they eventually did get. But then this album just blew them up.
Bear in mind they produced the album as well.
So I think so late into the process they had the guy, I've forgotten his name now, the guy from Nirvana, one of the maybe, but he just did some sort of post stuff right at the end. But other than that, it's all them.
Which Butch Vig's always got a good idea of where things should go anyway. I think it was him that did, never mind. But yeah, the fact that they produced it, recorded it, written everything themselves, that's a lot of fucking work. Like, not many bands produce their own stuff.
And succeed with it as well.
And make a really good album with it, because you run the risk of, when you're producing your own stuff, you're sort of laser focused on what you want from it. You're not always necessarily putting the music first. Whereas, when you've got the producer's there to basically tell you what you're doing sounds shit. Do it again.
The people want
again. Give me another fucking guitar track. So it's a weird thing to be able to self-produce yourself in that way and come out at the end of it with a cohesive album, but also a phenomenal album. Like that's the rarity for me.
Yeah, the good thing I kind of like with this album as well is Brandon Boyd. He does quite a lot of art because like before Incubus and as he met members of Incubus, he was doing art and stuff like that. So you have like songs like Drive where he's drawing himself and stuff, and basically a lot of his kind of artistic flair before the music was a lot of art, a lot of drawing, a lot of painting,
that
and stuff. So yeah,
Which is funny because when you do see him, he does look like an artsy type as well. So he's got that look about him.
Man, his voice is sick. I love his voice.
Yeah, man, it's just so smooth,
Yeah,
it's like,
and it's punchy, and he doesn't have to go, because it would be easy in this sort of band to go really like grungy or distort your voice in a lot of ways. I love him to pieces, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, and I know it's not that similar. He's got an amazing voice as well, but he'll when he shoots for those high notes and those big moments, he'll add that growling in, and that works really well in there. But I like that Brandon Boyd in this doesn't do that. He keeps it very clean, and it makes it more emotional, I think.
Well, it's a good counterpoint to the music, because the music isn't always the cleanest at times. I think, like we said with the other albums, there's a lot of dirtiness in behind on the songs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a sort of sign of the times as well, because 1999 was the height of new metal. The whole soundscape at the time was low-tuned guitars. So the fact they're playing the E standard makes me happy. I hate to try and play any bass to that era.
He's definitely the glue that keeps this all together, like especially in terms of that what we were talking about earlier with like the hope that shines through in this album and the vibrancy. That's definitely for me, that comes from him, and the songwriting is great as well. The lyrics are lovely.
It's also nice as well because you get that kind of sense of hip hop as well from the album, which is good because like we were saying earlier about just having this journey through the album. They really showed their musicianship through this album and exactly what kind of musicians they are. They don't just stick to one kind of sense throughout the album. It's almost again like Brandon's trying to paint this picture, for the album, and the other musicians are helping them do that. And you can't beat a bit of DJ Kilmore as well.
Yeah, man. He's great.
Honestly, he's sick as fuck, if I'm allowed to say that.
You are allowed to say that. I've said a lot worse so far on podcast. So, DJ Kilmore, he brings. I think that's probably where my comparison to Linkin Park came in, because he did remind me of Joe Hahn. And especially when you get to the instrumental as well, Battlestar Skrillex, just fucking name and a half.
Literally that track. Like when I first listened to the album initially, I didn't think anything like that was going to come up on the album, because it's almost like they've just taken all the heaviness out of the album. It almost feels a little bit like you're in a casino.
It's like an interlude.
I think it's the perfect sort of break, because you've gone how many here? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 amazing songs on the trot from the Warmth onwards.
Yeah.
Then you've got this little break before you then go into the last 3 fucking amazing songs. Whereas that was the issue for me with Hybrid Theory anyways. Cure for the Itch, I think, does that come on second to last? And it's boring. It doesn't feel like a good break, and it's not taking you anywhere. And then you come back and you've got a couple of good songs, but it never feels like you're just having a quick interlude before you go back into something amazing. Whereas this does.
Well, it's nice because, it's not like they start like right off the bat with something quite heavy after Battlestar. So you got, I Miss You, that track, which brings that up a little bit more. And then they're back into Pardon Me, which is, again, that's that level up from that again. And then you got Out From Under, which gets them back on that heavy track to finish out the album strong.
Well,
know,
my
it's just
only note on that song for me was really good. Bass is awesome. That was
yeah.
that's all I had for it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just funk plus, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that term. Yeah, funk plus.
Cheers, buddy.
That'll be
So
a
do
new
you?
genre next week.
So do you have a favorite song on the album?
You see, it's difficult because I'm torn by about 13 tracks, which is exactly how many. But
If we had to put a gun to your head and ask you the hardest question you could possibly ask anyone about an album they love, we're gonna have to ask
right,
it. Bear in mind, you
I
could
will.
literally say all 13 are joint, and we would take that.
I tell you what, there is one that comes out. I wouldn't say better, but just like personal level, if you get me. I'd say the warmth, just because of just the artistry in that track is just phenomenal. And especially showing, they have this different side to them as musicians. They can do things heavy. There's even one point on the album where Brandon lets out an XL scream.
Yeah.
But you don't hear that very often. But in the early stuff you did. But yeah, the warmth, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
It's a really good song, and obviously, if anyone who does listen to this, which again I'm only expecting about 2 people, and that's me and Connor.
That's right.
But that's the thing. Anybody who listens to this who doesn't know us, who's never listened to the album before, listen to it. It's fucking worth it. Like I said, the first 3 songs for me, which is Privilege, Nowhere Fast, and Consequence, they're okay, but
They're great. They're really strong songs, and they're nice, upbeat, and they get you in the mood. But yeah, when it starts to just get a bit more,
when you get to
has more to it from the warmth on.
You see the artistry and the sort of mix of the band and the mix of the inspirations from the band as well.
Yeah, the way I'd put it, I suppose, for me personally, is if the album started on the warmth, it would still work so fucking well. And the tracks before it are a lovely bonus.
See, I don't know if it would start as well on the warmth. I think the warmth would be a bad opening track.
Okay.
Because it depends what you're looking for an opening track. For me, I always think of albums like How Would You Have Your Perfect Set List for a gig. For me, for a set list, you've always got to grab them by the balls first, and then after a few tracks.
I agree with that.
Yeah, fair.
So that's thing, like those 3 songs, they're perfect as the opening. I just think they're, and again, it's my own opinion, I think they're good songs, but they didn't do anything to hook me. But when you hit the warmth, that's when the whole album grabs you and takes you to another level, which I was fine with after that. I was quite happy with that.
The track after the warmth, actually, when it comes, like, personally, like, I'd say in the past couple of years, like, I've started to like that track like a lot more, just because I love that kind of. It's the bass in that track for me, like, essentially, because again, you have like this real unison feel between guitar and bass in that sense. But like Derek on that album, well, especially those 2 tracks coming in there, let alone the rest of the album, he just knows the feel. If you get me, like, and he's doing like these slide notes and stuff, and really kind of like grooving. And again with Jose, it's just
they all work.
I could waffle on. I really could.
Well, we need waffle. We need content. That's the issue.
So it's good you've mentioned when it comes, because so me and Jake are gonna, I suppose, try and make this a thing where we have to try and guess each other's favorite tracks.
And we both like the same song for each other, by any chance?
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know. Well, I think When It Comes is your favorite song.
You would be right.
Yeah. But I love that song as well, because like it's just hard, and it's sweet. The riff is amazing. Like the intro to the song is so great. And it gets you into it, and and it has a great atmosphere to the entire song, and I love the chorus as well. But I instantly thought, I think the first time I listened through it, I think that was one, when I got to that track, I was like, yeah, this is probably Jake's favorite. Let's see what was on the rest of the album. And the rest of the album's amazing as well, but then I was like, that's still probably Jake's favorite.
I'm gonna guess yours then. So I think yours is slightly different. Now that you said that, I reckon it's a couple of songs later. I reckon yours is Drive.
Ooh, I love Drive, and I think it's a good song.
Have I got it wrong?
You've got it wrong.
Fuck.
So I thought I made it clear earlier as well. My favorite track is also The Warmth.
The Warmth.
I think The Warmth is, I think for me, a real thing that hooks me into any form of music or any song is the atmosphere a track can make. And the reason I think I said like I would be happy with the album starting with that is, as I said, when I was listening to the album for the first time, I was enjoying it, listening to it, and then that's the song, when that played, I suddenly zoned in and I was actually properly listening to the album. And I love the whole atmosphere it builds from the start and the way it develops. I love the guitar in that song. Like, I really love the riffs. What he does on the guitar in that song is amazing. And yeah, I think it's a great track.
It's literally like soundscaping, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a sense, with that track, because when you can kind of, especially with music, when you can paint a picture without even picking up a brush, or drawing it, that's real talent there, especially with that track. Jeez.
Well, and again, to do it while self-producing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, how far?
Yeah, they've done a lot of kind of, cause they've got their own kind of HQ in a sense. Actually, if you kind of go onto YouTube, type in Incubus Live at HQ, they used to do like special shows.
Is that the one that looks like a sort of warehouse?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's all like paintings on the wall and stuff that he'd done. You can tell those guys really care about their fans.
That's
as
cool.
well, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really sort of small, intimate place where they've got a couple of hundred fans in there. It's really good. You should check it out.
So I as I said, I don't know much about Incubus. I know they're out of California, I think, aren't they? I don't know if they've come over here. Well, I may sound really dumb. They may come over here all the time because they're probably worldwide famous. Of course they are. But yeah. But have you ever managed to see them before live?
Unfortunately, I haven't.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Another question then: have you seen Tom Morello live?
Again, I actually haven't.
No.
Yeah.
And if you do, slap him.
Yeah. Or has he been a bit of a jab?
No.
Basically, I saw him live. It was just him and a band playing music. He did no singing, and he ended with killing in the name of, but again with no singing.
It was just him playing guitar with a band, but just the guitar of the song with no band, with no singer,
with a half-empty stadium, half-heartedly singing along with him and going, "No, fuck you."
Is this going to be a running segment now? Is this a running segment where we tell this story and then just talk about how you would like him slapped?
Well, that's the thing. Richard Herring used to ask people whether or not they would like, whether or not they've seen a Bigfoot all the time. So I'm quite happy asking guests whether or not they want to hit Tom Morello in the head.
This is your Bigfoot.
You should have one of those like pie contests where you chuck pies. Just be faces of Tom Morello.
Well, I think what we're going to end up developing is a musician wall of hate. So, Top Gear used to have like those.
Tsunami.
Tsunami
of hate.
I think this is reverse psychology, and actually Jake's Tom Morello's biggest fan, and the easiest way you can get his attention is by slamming him constantly.
Are you saying that I'm doing year 2 level flirting, where I'm going to bully him until he notices me and my intelligence?
You just saw a gap in the band, and you thought I could fill that gap. You want to be the singer for Tom Morello when he performs "Killing in the Name of."
Have you ever heard me sing? That's a bad idea. I can maybe scream, or I used to before 4 years of smoking. I used to be able to scream, but aside from that, no.
Give us a scream then. Give us a
Oh
spiel.
God.
Unfortunately, I've been smoking for a long time, so no. Nowadays, I can only hit
God,
random high notes.
And it's accidental and it comes randomly.
Yeah, there's like one song that I can maybe hit a note in, and that's "Street Spirit" by Radiohead.
Oh, fair.
I don't know why, but it's
No, but I tell you what, that's a track actually. Street Spirit. Have you heard the was it the acoustic version they do live?
yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, that's one
Literally.
thing I was going to say about Mike Eisinger is I think his guitar style, it's Johnny Greenwood in Radiohead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's a
Yeah.
similar there's a sort of crossover element there where they
It's
I think
experimental.
I think it's a term we used last time around. It floats.
Yeah.
So even though the guitar is like a predominant part of the song, it floats into doing what it wants to do, but within the mesh of the song.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like structured, standard. Like bands like the Kinks or the Who, where it's clear riffs all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's like loads of bands still do that, and it's lovely when they do. But I do love this other style where the guitar is sort of not an afterthought, but it's like it's embellishment and it's putting over the top, and
It does its own thing.
you hear what they're capable of more. I think
It does its own thing without being counterproductive.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to their ability to self-produce themselves as well.
Because
you hear a lot of you hear kind of a lot of hybrid chords as well that Mike plays. You know, with they're kind of like diminished chords and stuff like that, with like sevenths and whatnot. And was it especially well, I Miss You on that track actually, like the kind of, you know, he does a lot of alternate picking and stuff with the riff he's playing, which is good, which brings out again like another kind of clean side of guitar, just completely. I think it's pretty much his hollow body that he's playing there and an electric that he's kind of structured together while recording.
Yeah.
If you get me, so then he gets that kind of 2 cents with the guitar, which is quite good.
Yeah, that's cool. You can definitely tell, and you can definitely tell they're a really versatile band, and it comes through on this whole album. Like they could, if they wanted to, dip in and out of loads of different genres. They're really capable musicians.
I would like to hear Dirk and Flea have a jam off.
Oh really?
I bet stuff between them would be pretty good.
That would literally, yeah, definitely. I was about to say something, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it. But
go for it.
That'd be pretty damn awesome. That would literally.
It was gonna make Ben excited.
Put it this way,
yeah,
Ben.
very, very excited, if I can put it that way.
Within the first 40 minutes of the first podcast, I'd used the word cunt several times. We can say what we want.
Did you? I didn't even realise.
Yeah, because we're talking about Yes by Manic Street Preachers. Dumb cunt saying.
Oh yeah. Fair.
They're abandoned now, aren't they? Actually, Manic Street.
Yeah, let's not get me on this topic, else I will take over the podcast.
That's fair play.
Those were the two albums from last time out. We had Stone Roses by Stone Roses and The Holy Bible by the Manics.
Some very, very good choices there. Definitely with Stone Roses as
Cheers,
well.
man.
Actually.
Yeah.
Bloody, yeah. I'd say what. Oh, go on, dude. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, carry on.
Probably one of my favourite tracks by them has probably got to be Love Spreads.
Yeah, from the second album.
Oh, dude, the guitar in that track is just.
It's awesome. Hard and it's bluesy as well.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's John Squire. We raved a load about him last week, so I don't want to go too much about it. But I think John Squire, such an underrated guitarist. But it kind of works in this conversation because he did the flip side because he was an artist as well, and then he quit music altogether, and he's now a full-time artist and painter.
Am I right in thinking he did the album artwork?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We didn't mention, wasn't it?
No. Like he's always been an artist, and he maintained doing that throughout his musical career as well. But then obviously he just got so fed up with the industry and I think his bandmates. They didn't really get along that well in the end. And then he went off and was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna sit in a shed in a field and paint.
Well, to be fair, when your bandmates include old Monkey Man.
Yeah.
Right, if we
I'm not sure if we've lost Ben. Yeah,
I think we have. I've just got his.
Oh, right.
Oh, no,
oh wait, no, we've got you. So you're like frozen on our screen, so we were like,
yeah, we're just staring at you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Face.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
okay,
did
man.
I look like really confused? Like,
You had an expression of staring down at us, like
above us.
like we're vermin.
Yeah, oh no, definitely not. I was trying to roll a rolly at the time. I must just look really angry towards my rolly. I do apologise.
Well, that's okay.
I can't believe I'm fucking addicted.
Don't worry, mate. It's all good, but yeah, sorry about that. It's a bit of a drop.
But this way, mate, any bits like that where both me and Connor are sat going, have we lost our guest? Those bits, because we already look rinky dink enough as it is.
Oh my god, you're saying rinky dink again, man.
Mate, I'm keeping that going. I've got my catchphrases now.
You've set up this whole persona of this guy who says rinky dink and slaps Tom Morello.
Should call him Mr. Rinky Dink.
Yeah, Mr. Rinky Dink.
And now, Mr. Rinky. My wrestling name.
That's cool.
Wrestling with the most terrible.
If you ever became a famous bass player, you have to. Do you know the Flea is a nickname, and yours will be Rinky Dink, the most badass.
I mean, what I'd have to do though is I'd have to play the shittest basses as well. So I'd have to get like one of those cheap Chinese knockoffs of a Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
And like paint it half and half so it looks messed up as well.
Oh mate, I saw your Rickenbacker a while back.
It's beautiful.
That sounded like a euphemism.
That's how I've always described it.
It can be whatever you want it to be, Connor. It can be whatever you want it to be.
No, that's called the Ricken Bastard. I've named it after Lemmies. I've got a nice collection going on at the moment. I've got a Fender Precision Deluxe with jazz pickup on there as well. I've got a 5-string Fender Jazz and my Rickenbacker 4003, which is just I love it. I think that was the dream one.
Oh, sorry for being really quiet all of a sudden. My dog entered the room. Hello.
It's all right.
When I said unprofessional earlier, I think these are like
the door just smashed open. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And it was just this little Shih Tzu coming around the corner, all happy.
Wait,
all right.
What's he coming in?
Just wrecking shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I reckon that's what's going to happen, like from podcasting, is there will be a SWAT team invasion on Connor's property.
We'll take out I didn't mean it. It was my friend who said that about Tom Morello, not me.
If we take out the little guy, the fat guy won't have an audience.
Just expect his lawyers popping up at your door now.
Yeah.
Defamation for calling him little guy. Taking the court by my best friend of 15 years.
Yeah.
Call him little guy. How really dare you?
It's He prefers the term midget. Stick to that, please.
Uh-oh.
Well, at least I'm not getting the heat on this one.
Huh?
At least I'm not getting the heat on this one, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the heat now.
It's a safety dance video again, aren't you?
Oh, God. Yeah, that's cut.
Brilliant.
That's cut. No one will know what the fuck we're talking about.
So I just bring up the safety dance. That'll be the in and out of it.
Oh my god.
Never watched a safety dance video? Watch it. You'll
Yeah.
understand the terrible comments that Connor
Anybody who's never seen the safety dance video, I want you to actually cut everything that happened before and just cut back in with us going, the safety dance video, watch it. And then ominously leave that. God damn.
I just remember breaking your heart because of that.
Yeah, because I was like, you left me. You know what I was talking about.
Yeah, we were doing an improv scene in drama, so we were drama A-level students, and we're just jumping in and out like between the whole class of, here's something funny, we'll jump in and say this. Connor jumps in and starts doing the safety dance, and he looks at me like, well, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone else is looking blank, and I've got this moment to decide whether I can support him in this and make him not feel like a total dick, or I could sit there and shake my head at him. And I shook my head.
Yeah, left me stranded.
To quote The Simpsons, you can pinpoint the exact moment that his heart breaks.
Everything about me deflated, and I've never been the same since.
This is why he has to become a global escort.
You're not supposed to tell people my real career.
That was ripe, man.
Well, people are going to wonder because last time, like you said, it was a music career. Now I'm telling people you're an escort.
Yeah, I want to be elusive. It's like, what does this guy do?
Well, no, they're going to know that when I go across the border.
No, he does both. That's what he
Do
does.
both.
He
Yeah,
does
you got to
both.
earn a bit on the side.
That's how
What,
I
you
get my
think
bit of
I earn
sugar.
enough doing what I do?
We always assumed it was a
Oh, that's
Dubai
brilliant.
businessman.
What was that?
We always assumed it was a Dubai businessman who had paid you off.
Yeah, man.
You can go globetrotting, but you've got to come over and suck the cock.
Yeah. Me, like, with numbers in front of my face going, yeah, seems worth it.
Checking your bank account later. Well, that was definitely worth it. Swiping your mouth off.
Oh, fuck.
Have I done it again?
Yeah.
All right.
It's good we don't do these things live, isn't it?
Oh, this bit isn't me and Carter. If anyone's going to be thick-skinned enough to take any heat for anything, mate, this is my job. This is what I do. I'm willing to say the shit that nobody else will say because they've got good taste. But
Casually. I love how we
Fucking
slowly
brilliant.
get to the end of each podcast and it just evolves into you saying shit and trying to offend as many people as possible.
Yeah.
It's almost like South Park podcast, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think in a world at the moment where the internet is judge, jury, and executioner, I'm willing to put
Yeah.
myself out there in court, see what happens.
You want to find out how quick you can get cancelled.
Cancel me, mate. Oh. It helps I didn't-
Just hashtag it, man. Just
Hashtag it. Hashtag
Cancel.
cancel rinky dink.
I know the name of this podcast now. Then.
Oh god.
Well, as I say, you've got to. I think doing this, like, I think a lot of people go into this kind of thing and sort of think, well, we're going to take everything seriously and we're going to try and be these, amazing people talking about these amazing albums. No, fuck it. Let's not take it seriously. Let's have a laugh doing it.
Yeah, man. And if
Yeah,
it works,
man.
it works. And if it don't, it don't. It's still fun fucking doing it.
There's only two people who are going to give feedback about the entire thing anyway, Connor. That's me and you.
Yeah.
I'm still maintaining we're only going to get 2 listeners. Maybe 3.
Thank you for having me on today, though, guys.
No
honestly.
worries then, man. No, it's been a pleasure, and it's really sick to talk about this album and to talk to you about it. And obviously, obviously people can't see your face. We can see your face, but you care a lot about it. It's clear, and it's been a good talk, real good talk. Do you have anything like you want to say about your band and whatnot, and what you guys get up to? Obviously, there's not much you guys can do at the moment due to the current situation of the world and everything, but
I'm sure there's a place that you can check out for previous.
Yeah, is there anywhere
songs.
anyone can come and go to check out your music or anything? Or
Yeah. We've got our own Facebook page at the moment. It's under Flux. Just look for the page with the least likes, basically, and you'll find it. but yeah, basically, was it obviously not this year, but the year before, and we had quite a good start. Actually, we got out there, released an EP. We'd done a few festivals that summer as well, and kind of only grassroots stuff, if you get me. No Glastonbury, unfortunately, but yeah, we were kind of hoping for this summer to
Oh,
kind
man.
of get out there a bit, if you get me, because we had a really good start with everything, and
Yeah.
the other guys, Ryan Shaw, our bassist, Jeff Heap, our drummer, and I do vocals and guitar, so we're pretty much like a gritty 3-piece, basically, quite heavy, but on the verge of heavy, if you get me, kind of thing. But yeah,
proper hard rock.
Yeah, pretty much. We've literally, one person said to us, we sound like groovy grunge.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. And is that spelled? That's for anyone who wants to check out. Is that spelled Flux, like the Block Party song, the FLUX?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Straight on. Yeah.
I like the references in our head. You've gone for Block Party. In my head, I was going for Flux Capacitor.
That's funny, actually, because like the other guys literally said those two things when we went for the name Flux. Quite funny enough. But we got some stuff on SoundCloud and stuff, but yeah, hopefully, without being selfish towards the world and whatnot, other musicians as well, hopefully they're able to get out and do their bit, because there's nothing worse in this kind of industry.
Yeah,
to be honest,
and
we thrive off of people being there in the crowd and stuff, and
that goes out to the whole arts industry as well. Yeah, like everyone, whether you're a musician, public speaker, or actor. Yeah,
sorry,
tough
mate.
times, but hopefully it gets back on the roll.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. Honestly, to musicians in a whole as well, some of them, just live to just get out there and play live. It's almost like their second home, and they feel, like they release so much shit, away from it. It's just, But yeah, I'm waffling.
Well, we just want everybody to get back on level playing field after we're sober, and hope everybody can kick on and sort of use it as an impetus to drive them forward, because essentially everybody's having a 6-month period off.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not, use this time to kick on, write your shit, get better, improve. So when you come back out there next time, when people are allowed to tour again, fucking nail it and make sure the crowds are with you all the way. But seriously, check out Flux. They are really, really good.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm very jealous. If there's a way that I can take out the bassist, that'd be the next day. Seriously, Ben, thank you for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. And
thank you, guys.
We'll probably do this again at some point, mate.
All right, dude. Rock and roll. But yeah,
peace out, funk bitches.
Is that your sign off?
Well, man.
It works better as a sign off when you don't come in afterwards, mate.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna stop there. Hello, and thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate it, and we appreciate a lot of help from a lot of people all throughout this journey. So we got a couple of shout outs we're going to make here. The first shout out being to Beck Sutton, the graphics designer who is designing our logo. She is the creator and owner of Primal Studios, which can be found on Facebook. Or if you go to primalst.com, you'll be able to find her work there. And she is fantastic at what she does.
Yeah, and the second shout out we'd like to make is to Andrew Stanton, composer of the song Escape the Oppression, which is the kick-ass song for our intro. We love the song, we love the dude. You can check out more of his stuff on soundstripe.com, where there's plenty of songs by plenty of other artists as well, where you can license for podcasts. So go check it out and see what's on there and see what you can use.
Stay frosty.